His wife texted, "Going on a solo trip with my first love, don't be jealous." What he did next crushed her. Going on a solo trip with my first love. Don't be jealous. Those were the last words Jennifer Morgan texted her husband, a man who had given her a home, a future, and a life people dream about, before vanishing, confident he would wait, worry, and fall apart while she chased old flames. She had no idea that the man she walked out on was already setting in motion one of the coldest, quietest revenge exits in infidelity history. What happened next will make you question everything you think you understand about loyalty, boundaries, and betrayal. Viewers, what would you do if your spouse sent you this message? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The hum of the office was low and steady, the kind of quiet that came when the rest of the world had gone home. Brandon Morgan leaned back in his chair, eyes flicking between two monitors. Lines of code filled one screen, contract clauses filled the other. His pen tapped absently against the desk as he scanned a cybersecurity audit report for the Defense Department, the biggest deal Morgan Dynamics had ever landed. He was halfway through a clause about data retention when his phone buzzed beside the keyboard. A soft vibration, one he almost ignored. Jennifer usually texted around this hour, asking what he wanted for dinner, teasing him to come home early. Last night it had been pot roast. The night before, grilled chicken with mashed potatoes. She loved making his favorites. Without looking up, he reached for the phone and unlocked it with his thumb. Then the world stopped moving. Jennifer. Going on a solo trip with my first love. Don't be jealous. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Brandon stared at the words until they blurred. For a full 10 seconds, his brain refused to process what he was seeing. Then his chest tightened, breath catching halfway. Solo trip. First love. 2 weeks. No emoji could soften that. No explanation followed. He called immediately. 2 rings, then voicemail, her voice light and familiar. "Hey, it's Jennifer, leave me a message." "Jen, what the hell is going on? Call me, now." He hung up and stared at the phone, waiting for the callback that didn't come. He texted, "We need to talk, this isn't funny. Call me right now." No reply. No typing bubble. He called again. This time it didn't even ring. Straight to voicemail. She'd blocked him. Brandon's throat went dry. The polished confidence that came so easily in boardrooms slipped away like air through cracked glass. He pushed back from the desk so suddenly that the chair rolled against the cabinet. Through the glass wall of his office, Austin's skyline shimmered in the evening haze. He grabbed his suit jacket, ignored the curious glance from his assistant locking up, and took the elevator down. His reflection in the stainless steel doors looked foreign. Same tailored suit, same calm exterior. But the eyes behind it were burning. The garage felt cavernous and cold. He climbed into his Tesla, the seatbelt click echoing too loud in the silence. The drive home was a blur of red lights and disbelief. His Tesla hummed quietly through Austin's evening traffic, each mile feeding a sinking certainty. It couldn't be real. Jennifer loved him. She had to. He'd given her everything, safety, luxury, freedom. He'd built his life around her. He turned onto their street, a tree-lined cul-de-sac in one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods. Every lawn was perfectly trimmed, every mailbox gleaming. Normal. Peaceful. Her Lexus was in the driveway, gleaming under the amber glow. He parked beside it, heart pounding. Maybe she was inside. Maybe it was some twisted joke. He opened the door. "Jennifer?" No answer. He walked through the living room. The candle she'd lit that morning still burned faintly on the console table. The faint scent of vanilla hung in the air, but the house felt hollow. Too still. Too clean. Upstairs, the bedroom door stood half open. Her side of the closet gaped empty. The big ivory suitcase from their honeymoon was gone. Half the hangers bare. On the dresser, where her jewelry box usually sat, there was only a faint square of dust. She'd taken her life piece by piece while he'd been in meetings building their future. He sat on the edge of their bed, staring at the indentation her body made in the mattress. They'd made love in this bed last night, She'd kissed him goodbye this morning, told him she loved him, reminded him to take his vitamins, and now she was gone. With another man. He thought back to the past few months, searching for signs he'd missed. She'd been on her phone more than usual, but he'd assumed she was texting her sister or browsing social media. She'd seemed distant sometimes, but when he asked if everything was okay, she always smiled and said she was fine. And then, hours later, she'd sent that message. The betrayal hit slow and deep, a physical ache spreading through his chest. Because this was his wife. The woman who'd stood in front of their families and promised to love him, honor him, stay faithful to him. And she'd thrown it away with a text message. No warning. No chance to fight for their marriage. Just a casual announcement, like she was telling him she'd be late coming home from the grocery store. Don't be jealous. The audacity of those 3 words burned in his chest. He'd given her everything, a home that overlooked the lake, a car she adored, a limitless card. He'd told her she didn't need to work, that she'd earned rest after years of struggle. Somewhere between comfort and freedom, she'd found someone else. By 9 p.m., the house was dark except for the blue light from his phone. He sat in the living room, elbows on his knees, staring at nothing. The framed photo from their wedding sat on the mantel. He turned it face down. His thumb hovered over his contacts. Then he scrolled until he found Cal Peterson. They'd met in college. Cal studied criminology while Brandon buried himself in software engineering. Now Cal was a private investigator in Houston, the kind who didn't waste words or time. Brandon pressed call. 2 rings. Peterson Investigations. Cal, it's Brandon Morgan. A pause. Brandon, been years. What's wrong? I need your help, Brandon said quietly. My wife's gone. She texted me she's on a trip with her first love. I need to know where, with who, everything. Cal's tone sharpened. Send me her full name, number, socials. I'll start tonight. Money's not a problem. I know, you'll hear from me soon. When the call ended, Brandon walked to the balcony. The city stretched below, its lights shimmering against the black water of Lake Travis. Somewhere in the night, his wife was laughing with another man. He slipped his phone into his pocket, the wind tugging at his sleeves. The ache inside him hardened into something else. Cold, deliberate, patient. Brandon didn't remember when he finally drifted into sleep, only that he woke to a pale streak of dawn cutting across the bedroom ceiling. His phone lay beside him on the mattress, still silent except for the faint buzz of overnight emails. He showered, dressed, and left the house like a man moving underwater.